Welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to be talking about market sessions and kill zones. But before I get into that, I hope some of you have seen I've recently released a new podcast. The podcast is available on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts. The link is going to be below, so I'd appreciate if everyone can check that out. Just have a listen. There's going to be weekly episodes coming out every Sunday 6 p.m. So yeah, it's just something I'm doing for fun. But let's get into it. So I think this is the third video in the Forex series. In this video, it should give you kind of like an overview of how this one part of the market functions. It's not really a complex topic, but I feel like it is something people may get confused by. Some people don't explain it too well, what happens and whatever. So let's just get into it. So these are our market sessions, right? In reality, there's 4 market sessions. You have your Sydney, Tokyo, London and New York. However, here in my example, I've condensed Sydney and Tokyo to Asia session. That's most of the time that's what you're going to see people refer to it as, so it just makes sense to call it Asia, right? I've put the times there, but of course they're based on London time. So Asia is 10 p.m. to 9 a.m. I think I might be wrong, but I believe Sydney starts at 9 and finishes an hour or 2 before Tokyo, because Tokyo finishes at 9. So, but of course, like I said, I've put it together as the Asia range anyways. Of course, you have your London session 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and then you have your New York session 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. So the different market sessions are based around the relative working hours and working day in different parts of the globe. So in simple terms, all that means is, right, when you look at your London session and you see 8 a.m. to 4 p.m, what do those times mean? Those times are the average, like your average job, your like 9 to 5. Those are the times everyone is working properly. Of course, there's no 5 p.m. there, but you can just use a bit of logic. Within that last hour of work, most people drop off. They're not working as hard or whatnot. You can apply it, simple logic, because these are essentially just working hours in different parts of the globe. So traders can use these sessions to expect certain moves within the market or integrate them within their trading models. It's recommended to trade London and New York. London and New York have the largest amounts of liquidity. I don't know if I worded that right, but the most liquidity is present during London and New York. As you can see, this is a very, very textbook example. If there's any traders watching this video, they'll be able to see that this is a very textbook example. You have something called the Asia range, then you have a move during London, then you have another move during New York. The move during London sometimes is called a Judah swing. I may or may not get into that in a different video, but that's the reason why London is below the Asia range, and then of course New York makes a move in the opposite direction, right? So in reality, that's all your market sessions are. It's just different timings, and you can expect different things from your market sessions, which is why I said that traders will use these sessions to expect certain things. Like I just mentioned to you guys, the Asia range, the Judah swing within London, and wherever else. There's a lot of small intricate things, right? The next thing is your kill zones. So this is going to tie in your kill zones. First of all credit to ICT, Inner Circle Trader. It's a concept that he made. Your kill zones, according to him, are the times where liquidity is highest in the market. The amount of liquidity is highest in the market. Therefore, it's considered that the highest probability trades and setups will form within kill zones, right? If you know how the market functions, everything is about liquidity. I discussed this in my previous video. I have a video on liquidity. When all the liquidity is present, you're going to be seeing, big moves. You kind of see it as a fuel, if you'd like to. That's just an analogy I guess you could use. But it kind of fuels price movement. So here I've given you the 2 kill zones, the main 2 kill zones to be trading, because like I said, we recommend trading within London and New York. So you've got 7 a.m. to 10 p.m, or that's meant to be 10 a.m. Okay, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m, and New York you've got 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. So that's all it is really. In reality, you don't even need to know the theory behind these things. You know, as long as you know that 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. during London or in London time is a good time to trade, and then of course your New York Killzone is a good time to trade, right? But let's get onto the charts. Let's see it in practicality. Okay, so here I've got a very textbook example. You can see the Asia range, just quite sideways movement. You see a swing within London one direction, and you'll see New York give a swing in the other direction. Now, like I said, this is a textbook example, so it's something you can expect to see, but it doesn't mean it always happens, because if we come across here, look what happens in Asia. That's not really what you expect, this stronger for move, and that was probably driven by news and other factors. So just because, you know, I've shown you this example, don't take it as kind of gospel and think it's going to happen, you know, day in, day out. Of course you might see it often, but not always. So the main point I want to make here, I gave you session times and Killzone times. You, of course, it's good to know them, but you know, you have an indicator. I have an indicator on my screen, so I just wanted to show you guys that this is an indicator that you can use. It's called FX market session. So if I get rid of it, I just try to find it, these indicators. Yep, so it's this one, just so it's easier for everyone to add. FX market sessions, just click on that and then it appears here. I haven't changed any of the settings, I've just kept it as is. And of course, if I turn it on, within these boxes you see the Tokyo session, the London and the New York. The only thing different here compared to what I was saying, this doesn't have a Sydney session, and of course I told you that I condensed Sydney and Tokyo into one. Some people sometimes on charts, you know, if you're curious, people mark out the times where Sydney starts, for example. So if I take, so at 10 p.m. it's okay, it might be 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. but if you go from 10 p.m. and you come across to 9, it should line up here. Yep. And then what you'll see is on some people's charts, not everyone's, depending on what their model's based on, they kind of draw a box around the Asia range. So of course they'll have an actual box. I've just put down 2 trend lines, but with these sessions I'm not going to go into too much detail of how you can use them, but rather I'm just showing you what they are and what they mean, and I hope this gives you the kind of foundational understanding to then go ahead and see other people's models or start implementing them within your own. And hopefully, I mentioned in a circle trader, so some of you will go and do your own research and look into his concepts, because he's a very, very good trader. I've learned a lot from him, and you know, if you want to get a lot deeper into these things, certain things that I probably won't be discussing on my YouTube, then it's a very good idea to go and watch him. That's about it from me today. I feel like, you know, again, this was quite a simple concept, so hopefully everyone understood everything. If there are any questions, you know, make sure you message me, make sure you drop a comment. You know, all my socials are here. Again, I mentioned the podcast at the start. It will be very, very great if everyone can go and have a look at the podcast, have a listen. I think a lot of people will enjoy it, and I'm going to be back very soon with another video building on the same concepts that I've spoken about here. I'm going to try and have a more linear structure to the teaching that I'm doing, so that each episode ties in within the last, and you know, you can start to piece this puzzle together, and hopefully it's going to be able to help a lot of you guys. So see you in the next video.